Thanks for your interest in Freedom and Balance Virtual Professionals, or FAB VP as we like to call it. My name is Erik Jackson. I'm the founder of FAB. I'm more than happy to jump on a call with you and answer all your questions about FAB VP. But in the interest of your valuable time, what I'd love to do is take just a couple of minutes, tell you a little bit about my background, how FAB came to be, what we're trying to accomplish in the marketplace, and I'll let you decide if it makes sense to jump on a call together. If at the end of the video, you decide that it is worth your time, great, I'd love to chat. If not, at any point during this video, you think it's not a fit, just respond back to the email, not a fit, we'll take you off the email list, no problem. Sound fair? Great. So for the past 22 years, I have managed two construction companies in Seattle with some partners, an earthquake retrofitting company and a design build remodeling company. Both of these companies are owner-independent, self-managing companies. We build great systems. We hire fantastic teams. We train them. We teach them how to think like owners. We empower them to make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and then to adjust the processes so that we all make more money. We can share it with the team. It's allowed me to work less than 40 hours a week, take 8 weeks a year off. It's an exciting time. But there was an Achilles heel. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. 2 years ago, I decided that because I had so many projects, not just the construction companies, but I wanted to set up a real estate investing company. I had other family investment funds that I was running for my family. I needed help. I needed an executive assistant. And rather than hire somebody domestically, I chose to hire somebody from the Philippines. Interestingly enough, she came on board in March of 2020. Everybody remembers what happens in late March 2020. Our server died. You didn't know that. And so for the first 9 months that my virtual professional was on board the team, she helped us migrate to the cloud and take all these incredible systems from 3-ring binders. You can tell I'm an analog guy. I love my paperwork, and get them up into the cloud. Well, that worked fantastic. Then we realized what we needed to do is we needed to hire virtual professionals for each of the construction companies. So we did that. And then finally, I'm able to start my real estate investing company. I went out to my ideal client avatar, construction business owners, entrepreneurs, people like yourselves, and started to talk about this new business that I was creating. And everybody said, fantastic, I want to learn more about it. But I want to learn more about the virtual professionals. How do I get one? So I ended up placing a number of virtual professionals with some construction companies here in town. And at the end of week 1 or week 2, everybody to a person called back and said, hey, Erik, I realized that it just not need a virtual professional. And I asked why. Well, they either didn't know how to share the tasks that needed to get done with the virtual professional, or they weren't sure how to manage the virtual professional. They were used to either not managing people or managing domestic teams where they could look over the shoulder, or they weren't familiar with how do you document systems and actually build the processes. And so from that, what I ended up having to create is this entire framework that FAB is built upon. It's designed for you, the entrepreneur, to help get the most out of the relationship with your virtual professional. Let me show you. So most companies, they're growing, they need office help, they want to document systems, they're thinking about a virtual assistant. It's not just an assistant level role. What you actually need is an executive assistant who is a true professional. But then there's the questions, what do you work on? How do you manage them? How do you document these systems? So we've created this framework where you can plan your priorities. You create fluent communication with the virtual professional, and then you document the systems as you go and build them. How we do that is by helping you come up with a 3 to 5 year plan. If you've already got it, fantastic. Let's document it and let's actually share it with the virtual professionals, and you can share it with your domestic teams as well if you have one, and then come up with a task list. What are all these things that you're doing on a regular basis? And how is the best way to communicate with each of the team members. And what's great is many of our folks are using this fluent communication, not just for the international team members, but for their domestic team members as well. It's a system-wide event. And then we figured out a way to document our system so that it really is effortless. Well, at least it's effortless on the part of you, the business owner, or your key team members here domestically. So that's the big overview of the system. Now let's dig into some of the specific things. I already mentioned the 3 to 5 year plan. We're actually going to help you, give you the tools so that you can look at your systems. Systems can be anything from my marketing system, or it can be as specific as, hey, for those people that started a reservation in my VRBO and didn't continue, I want to go ahead and I want to set up a drip email system to them. The systems really can be as big or as niche as you need them to be. We help you document all the things that you're doing in your business on a regular basis, and then you can determine what needs to get handed off to the virtual professional and what needs to stay on your plate. And then come up with a 90-day plan so that every quarter you're really leaning on what are these things, what are these systems that we can use to build and grow the business and take it from just a business, something that's a sole proprietorship, to a business that we can sell. And then we go into the weekly blueprint. How do we take that 90-day plan and actually chunk it up into actionable bits for the current week? And then stuff always happens. Things come up. You need to reprioritize. What's a quick shorthand way that the entire team knows, hey, this now jumped to the number one spot. I need to do this and go ahead and wait on some of these other tasks. And then at the end of the day, your virtual professional is going to send you a detailed list of the time spent, the tasks, and then links to all the work in process or that was completed. And are there any things that they need help from you on so that you can review that on a daily basis? I love to spend a couple of minutes at the end of the day, look at the end of day report, give feedback, shoot a Loom video, and they know then what they need to do the next day. And then once we've done that, how do we create a systems library in the cloud that's accessible not just by the domestic and international teams, but it's searchable. You can lock it off from different team members. This is one of my favorites. Me as the entrepreneur, I've got all these thoughts in my head and I need to get them out. How if my head went into two different directions. Napoleon Hill says, what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. At Fab, we believe if you can think it, describe it, and record it, you can document that system and you can actually get it done. And then once that process is out of your head, how does the virtual professional take it and document it in a way that no matter whether you're a visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learner, that there is a way that you can learn this system and execute it without much help at all? So that's the Fab overview in a nutshell. But we realized rather than just give a bunch of videos and let you noodle through and work on them yourself, we've created a learning portal where all the forms are there. You can invite other key team members in addition to yourself so that anybody that really is working with the virtual professional can step in, can learn what is it that we're trying to accomplish. We've had teams that have invited their domestic folks in as well because it's a great way to communicate. And then there's a learning portal for the virtual professionals themselves where they are leveling each other up. They're teaching each other what are the best tricks and tips for social media, website development, what's working in marketing campaigns. Does anybody have an issue with the drip email? Let's get together and talk about that. But oftentimes it's not just enough to have all this information. Sometimes you've looked at it, you've processed it, and you've got it stuck. So we've got weekly meetings that either you, the business owner, or your key team members can come to and can share and say, hey, I'm trying to figure out, how do we do this? And as a collective community, we're able to look at that issue and say, because you're having that issue, others may have an issue like that. How do we globalize that, use it as a learning opportunity? And then rather than have one person trying to solve 12 different issues, we've got 12 people solving one issue quickly, efficiently, give you something actionable at the end of the meeting that you can take back to your team and try. And then there's the nuts and bolt meeting for the VPs as well, where every week they get to come together and talk about, so for the Facebook marketing, how do I get the pixels onto the website to do the da-da-da, whatever it is? They've got a safe spot so that they're sharing their stocks. So that's Fab VP in a nutshell. Not only are we a framework for how to communicate, but I think more importantly, we're a community where we're all learning together. It's a collective of business owners, key team members, virtual professionals that's figuring out, how do we optimize all these processes and systems across currently very similar industries: construction, real estate, rentals. So we're all speaking that same language. We've all got similar issues. Thanks for taking the time to hear more about Fab VP. If it's something that you think you'd like to dive into, there's going to be a calendar link below. I look forward to connecting. If not, thanks for taking the time to even get this far in the video. So have a great day. I look forward to connecting. Take care.